Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are once again back in Tank Mechanic Simulator, and this time we're going to be building a few new vehicles. What has been kind of nice is the fact that I've done a few more digs, and what I found is some vehicles which are definitely pretty good. You know, they are a KV-2 and a Stug 3. Now, if you don't know how you get vehicles in this game, you basically go find them and dig them up. I can't seem to find any other way of doing it apart from buying a whole brand new one. And obviously I don't want to do that because, well, I want to do it myself. I want to be able to build everything from scratch, which I think is, you know, what you should try and do. So we'll have a look at the KVs and the Stugs. I'll also say sometimes it is kind of annoying because you end up getting the same vehicle over and over and over again when it comes to the Build-A-Bear or digging them up. But as you can see, this is the KV-2, and I'll show you the missions because the thing is I basically rejected a ton of repair missions until I got the grab your shovel ones, which is the ones where you know, get stuff, and yeah, so I was able to get myself some of these things. So we got ourselves a KV-2, which we'll be doing today, and also the Stug 3. Just to remind you, in the yard, we've also got a few other vehicles, which we'll either be building today or another day, depending on how much time I have. I'm pretty tired, since obviously I've been doing a lot of the dev server stuff, and at the same time I've been double dipping. You know, I've been obviously working on top of everything, so I'm not exactly in. I'm not exactly in tip-top shape right now, but Tank Mechanic Simulator is such a relaxing game, it doesn't really take too much out of me. So we've still got the Tiger, the Panther, we've got the Panzer III, which is in terrible condition, T-34-76, and the Panzer IV. So the only vehicles that I'm missing to actually build out of the game is I'm missing the KV-1 and the M26 Pershing. So once I get those, I pretty much have a full collection, and I'm really happy about that, obviously. So let's get this KV-2 done first. We'll have a look inside of it. It is an incredibly simple vehicle. That is one thing I will say about these Soviet vehicles, which is really nice. There isn't a ton going on, you know. You've got the engine hatch, all the stuff inside there. You've got the radiator on top. You got yourself the transmission hatches as well. Then, of course, the driver's hatch. But inside, it is so... there's hardly anything inside this thing. And then even in the turret itself, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff we have to replace in the turret. But on the back of the turret, you know, there's the rear hatch, which is really nice. But there's really... It's a really simple design. Hey, Murphy. It's a very simple design compared to any of the... Oh, where's the engine? Did I put it on the wrong stand? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. So, one... No, I've got the wrong bloody thing on. There we go. One of the things about, you know, the German vehicles is they seem to be a lot more complicated in this game, than the Soviet ones, which makes sense. I mean, if you look at, you know, one of the big criticisms of Germany in World War II is that, yes, they made some quite interesting ideas, but at the same time, it wasn't exactly the best when it came to actually making sure that their stuff just kept going and was able to fix. Let's just select all and outsource some repairs. Looks like we have some KV-2 parts, which is kind of nice. At the same time, we're probably going to have to buy a bunch of parts as well. And I'm fine with that. You know, eventually we'll just get it done. I don't know how much there is to replace on this thing, like replace only. So far it looks okay. Normally you get a few things. This thing actually had 2 MGs in it when I found it. It had one in the back of the turret. This KV-2 doesn't have one looking forward, but it had one here, and then it also had one in here, so that was really nice. Oh, also, the museum itself is making bank. You know, it's getting 5,000. It's got 1,000 people in it currently, and you know, we're making some moolah from it. The reason why we lost a bunch of money is because I bought a KV-1 to see if you could buy it rusty, because you can just buy out. Like, if you want to buy, let's say, a KV-1, like here, you can just click buy new tank. But the problem is, it doesn't actually buy you a rusty tank. It just buys you one which is already kitted out. And we don't want that. You know, that's boring. We want to build them. So, yeah. Let's get the missing parts. Very cheap for this Soviet vehicle. Oh, and also, I realized the most expensive tank in the collection, we were looking through them last night, and Nito pointed it out. The most expensive tank out of the M10, the Easy 8, the Panzer 3M, and then you've got the 251, and also the T-3485 was actually the M10, which was kind of a surprise. So there you go, there's the engine done. You found 5 KV-1s? I haven't found a single one. It must really be RNG based. And here we go. Let's get some of this rust away. The main ones I've found in digs are Panzer 3s and Panzer 4s. I've found maybe 3 or 4 of them. I've done 50 digs so far, and only found one only found one KV-2. I haven't found a Pershing yet, which kind of sucks, but we'll have to see. But at least now we're going to grind it. By the way, in this driver's port, with this KV-2, it must be incredibly sad and boring being in that driver's port. You have literally nothing else, you know, to deal with. You just kind of sit there and just drive the tank. No dude next to you to have a chat with. Very sad. But at least we can get some of this rust off. There's a ton of rust in the gearbox, which is obviously not good. It's kind of hard to get to that gearbox too. Let's try and get to those torsion bars. Luckily we don't have the same torsion system as a German vehicle. We have a much more relaxed one in this. Oh, needs to do the hood as well. There we go. Looking much better already in this wonderful KV-2. You can see it's much easier to repair than other vehicles. We're already up to like what 30%, and we haven't really done anything. Just kind of gone around the place. It's just a lot simpler, which just makes it a lot nicer to do. The toughest ones, I think, for me, are eventually going to become the Tiger when we get around to it. So that'll be fun to do. And maybe some of the other ones. But doing the Stug 3 in this should be fine. Oops, sorry. Just had to check something real quick. And let's give it a good old blast. Just to give it that wonderful shine that we all know and love. Yeah, a few people were asking, you know, asking about the game and do I recommend it and stuff. I do. If you just want a therapeutic game where you just want to, you know, dig up stuff and build it and make a museum and, you know, a pretty simple game that's gonna take maybe, you know, depending on how much you put into it, you know, 5 to maybe 30 hours to complete. I would recommend this. It's, for me, as a person who plays a lot of, you know, RTSs and War Thunder, which can be pretty stressful games because you have to think constantly, you have to, you know, sort out different scenarios a lot. With this, because it's just much easier and just more about you can see your progression really quickly instead of having to wait a few days for stuff. It is really nice, you know. It's one of those games which you can definitely just fall into and have a bit of fun with. So I do recommend it. The plane mechanic simulator, I think we're going to play that, but I think just looking at it seems to have a lot less content than this one, and that might be a deal breaker. So we'll have to see. The hull's looking good though, nice and shiny. Let's get it all primed up, even the tracks. It was pretty fun doing all the dev server stuff. There's a lot of changes coming to War Thunder over the next week or so. So It's going to be interesting to see what happens with all the helicopter stuff. I've got a feeling all those changes aren't final with it yet, which is why I haven't done the changelog video yet. Because I think there's a lot of stuff on there which is in flux. Because right now they're looking for community reaction on things. It's kind of interesting just reading a lot of the community reaction stuff. I have missed a bit. And it seems like if you look on the community reaction side, there's a lot of people who are just not happy with the helicopter changes. And you can understand why, because they feel like the helicopters are gonna, you know, become useless, because they kind of are. But my stance has always been, well, maybe this will push people towards the helicopter game mode, which is good. Should go and enjoy and play that game mode, and try and improve that instead of ruining other parts of the game. Helicopters are always will be bang or bust machines, and now we're seeing the unfortunate outcome of that. Can't unfortunately paint that. That definitely doesn't seem finished to me. There's rust on that. Let's just get these done. Like that thing? How is that finished? I can see rust on it. Oh, it's not finished. There we go. The gearbox shaft is screwed. Let's get that done. Nice, lovely. That could have been a bit that we missed. Luckily we didn't. Oh, and another bit as well. Let's make sure we haven't missed it on the other side too. There we go. Got a little bit more paint on it. Watched Home Fires yesterday as well. Because I can't really do anything on the internet while I'm uploading. It's an issue with my router, I think. So I watched the whole of season 1 and 2 of Home Fires, and it cuts off at such an abrupt point. It was really annoyed it was cancelled. But the dude behind it, the writer, actually is writing some books, so hopefully it goes through, you know, the parts that were missed. Home Fires is a kind of a drama TV series about World War II, and kind of what happens on the home front, as, you know. Kind of like Bomb Girls, if you've ever seen that, the Canadian show. Bomb Girls is a little bit too Canadian for me, though. Like, it's there's too much stuff going on. Like, I've tried to watch Bomb Girls several times, and I've got through it, you know, a decent amount every time, but there's this problem with, like, American shows and Canadian shows where stuff just has to constantly be happening instead of, like, you know, it can be relaxing and stuff builds up. So what happens is every episode seems like it's a life or death scenario for a lot of the characters, instead of just oh well, isn't this interesting, or ooh, you know, how are they building that up? And yeah, so that's not really an issue that Bomb Girls has. It's more of an issue of general TV for the Canadians. Was it exclusive to Canada? Well, Bomb Girls? I think so. I'd have to check, though. I know it was on Netflix for a while. Basically, it was that same TV show where it has, like, a few seasons, and then it has it has a movie to kind of, like, tap it all off. But it was a Canadian show. I'm not sure if it ever made it to Netflix or anything like that. Home Fires is a British show. It was on British TV. So we've done the interior. Exterior is at 87%. This thing is actually looking pretty good already. Not really missing too much. Obviously it's at 89%, so you don't expect it to. But just so much more simplistic than any of its German brothers. It's just lovely. Much easier to deal with. Yeah, there's another show, which is like, I can't remember its name, but that's really good as well. It's a British show which is about World War II, but it's about the like when people left the cities, like especially women, and they left the cities to go join farms and stuff like that to become laborers, and it's about them like learning the life of like, you know, village living and all of that stuff from the big cities, and it's really cool. I can't remember its name though. I recommend that show too, whatever it's called. I feel like there's going to be a bunch of stuff missing in this one. Unless this is just really simplistic too. Which is, you know, it could be. To make sure everything's sanded, even the gun. God, there's really not a lot in here, is there? No, let's give it a paint. Foils War is also a really nice TV series. It's more of like I suppose a movie series in a way. It's one of those where, you know, it has like 3 episodes per season, but the episodes are like an hour and a half long each. It's similar to Sherlock in that way. And Foils War is actually based on a book, which I would also recommend. The book is really, really good. This is only 82%, so... Oh wait, we need to paint it. But the well, the turret interior is 100%. So this is all you get in the turret? Wow, that's depressing. But the A Foils War is about a old detective who is put back into... Well, not really put back in service, but he's old. And he fought in the First World War, and now he's being... like, he's a policeman in the Second World War. So it's all about, once again, difficulties on the home front in Britain, with people trying to, you know, break the law, with people trying to, you know, get away with stuff because it's wartime, and it's about his investigations and his, you know, his police work during the war. And for me, as a person who's really interested in, you know, those style of shows, so I really like stuff like Poirot. Midsummer Murders is a classic. Could watch that all day. And it's just nice to see, you know, that in World War II you have a similar show in the form of Foils War. Midsummer Murders as well is a great show. That's it for the turret. Like, it's nothing else really going on for it. I thought there'd be a little bit more. Obviously this thing is very much... Oh, I forgot to paint it. Wait, is there something there? No. This thing is obviously very much just not a complicated vehicle, which isn't a surprise. It's a KV-2. It's pretty much designed for one thing, shoot things. But that's about it. Right, let's see. So are we missing anything else? The wheels. Ooh, we got a wheel support somewhere. Where are you at? Oh, disgusting. We've left a little bit of paint on that. There we go. Right, so the wheels are done. Tracks, yeah, they're all good. Okay, so let's just go into assembly mode. Let's build the last little pieces, and we'll have ourselves a wonderful KV-2. Built from scratch. For some reason it won't let me build that yet. Or that. Let's do the clicky button. Another thing about that Stug 3 over there, so in my escapades of finding stuff, I actually found another Stug 3 pretty much at the same time as that Stug 3. So what I did is I took the second one apart, so now we should have enough parts to be able to build that Stug 3. It saves us a bit of money, and also means that, you know, I could do something last night. I needed a chill game after doing all those videos. Woke up today with a crazy headache and had to go into work, but I was okay. I got through it. That's the main thing. There we go. Let's get this bit done. Perfect. So that should be the tracks done. What else do we need to add to this thing? It's at 98% right now. Let's have a look. Hull exterior. What are we missing? A radiator? So... oh, here we go. Radiator. 100%. God, that was an easy build. Thought there'd be a bit more to it. Never mind. I suppose it is a KV-2. Perfect. So let's have a look inside, just to see how simple it is. Why won't you let me open stuff? Fine, I'll just go inside. Like, there's really just nothing here. Like, I mean, obviously we've got the engine cover. That needs to get closed. This is such a simple vehicle. No bits and bobs. No, nothing really at all. So there you go. I just want to see if I can fix that engine deck before we go forward. Nope, won't let me move it. Alright, well that's a problem. We're going to have to paint it. So let's move this bad boy to the paint shop. Give it a nice lick of paint. And then hopefully we can get it in our museum. And hopefully it will attract a bunch of people. I think it will. Oh, the engine deck's closed now. No, it hasn't. But we... God damn it. There we go. So we need to open that. Close the engine hatch. Come on. Can't even walk into this. We're too big. There we go. And then we'll close the driver's hatch as well. Perfect. So it's ready to paint. Definitely don't want to put 131 on it. We could maybe put the star on it. There we go. The world is our canvas. Maybe a number. A circle could do. Just a simple one. That's obviously American. Let's put the 80 on. We are the number 80. Reporting for duty. We should get a nice colour. I feel like green is always best for these vehicles. So let's go green and a camo. Jesus. That doesn't look too bad. It kind of looks a bit German. Had to be in disassemble mode to close and open hatches. Ah, okay, fair enough. Thank you. That was where I got it wrong. We could do the waves. I'll do this, though. I kind of like it.